On the morning of December 1, 1948, the quiet sands of Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia, became the stage for one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. A man, dressed immaculately in a suit and tie, was found slumped against a seawall. His shoes were polished, his hair neatly combed. Yet, this man carried no identification, no name. His story would leave behind more questions than answers, a puzzle that still baffles the world today. This is the story of the Somerton Man, a man who has come to symbolize one of the strangest enigmas in forensic history. Who was he? Why was he there? And why has no one come forward to claim him, even after more than 7 decades? It began with a morning walk. A pair of locals strolling along Somerton Beach spotted a man slumped against a seawall. At first glance, he appeared to be sleeping. His head was tilted back, his legs stretched out, his arms resting by his sides. But something was off. When approached, the man did not stir. The police were called, and soon, it became clear, this was no ordinary death. The man appeared to have taken great care in his appearance. His shoes were recently polished, his hair meticulously combed. Yet, there was no wallet, no identification, not even a name sewn into his clothing. Even more bizarrely, the labels on all of his garments had been removed, a clear sign that someone wanted to erase his identity. News of the mysterious man spread quickly through Adelaide. Who was he? Why had he come to this quiet beach? And most importantly, how did he die? The autopsy revealed little about the man's death. There were no signs of trauma, no indications of violence. However, the medical examiner noted something unusual. The man's spleen was 3 times its normal size, and his liver showed signs of congestion. These symptoms pointed to poisoning, yet no traces of poison were found in his system. It was as if the man had simply stopped living. The lack of evidence was maddening. Without a clear cause of death, speculation ran wild. Was it a natural death, perhaps from a rare illness? Or was it something far more sinister, a calculated murder designed to leave no trace? 2 weeks later, investigators found the first major clue. Sewn into a hidden pocket in the man's trousers was a small, rolled-up piece of paper. On it were 2 words, Tamám Shud. Translated from Persian, Tamám Shud means ended or finished. The phrase appeared in the final page of a rare poetry book, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. This cryptic clue raised more questions than answers. Why would this man carry such a specific phrase in a hidden pocket? And what was its significance? The phrase was eventually traced to a copy of the Rubaiyat that had been discarded in a man's car near Somerton Beach. Inside the book, detectives found yet another clue, a series of letters scrawled in the back. To this day, no one has deciphered these letters. Was it a code? A cipher used by spies? Or a random jumble of letters with no meaning at all? With no identity, no cause of death, and a cryptic message as the only clue, the case took on a life of its own. Over the decades, countless theories have emerged. Some believe the Somerton Man was a Cold War spy. During the 1940s, Adelaide was home to a secretive U.S. military base. Could the man have been involved in espionage, his death the result of international intrigue? Others suggest a more personal explanation. Was the man's death a tragic love story? Some speculate he had traveled to Adelaide to reunite with a lover, only to meet a tragic end. And then there's the possibility of an untraceable poison, one that left no residue, a theory that points to sophisticated knowledge of toxicology. Despite decades of dead ends, recent advancements in forensic science have reignited hope in solving the mystery. In 2021, researchers extracted DNA from the man's preserved hair and began building a genetic profile. Early results suggest a possible connection to the United States, raising new questions about the man's origins and his ties to Australia. Today, the Somerton Man remains one of the most enigmatic figures in Australian history. His story has inspired books, documentaries, and even songs. But for every theory that emerges, a new question arises. Who was this man? Was he a victim of foul play, or did his death hold a deeper, more personal meaning? Perhaps, like the phrase he carried in his pocket, the Somerton man's story was meant to remain unfinished, an eternal riddle, forever shrouded in mystery. What do you think happened to the Somerton man? Could the key to solving this puzzle still be out there, waiting to be discovered? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.